Good morning. Welcome to Randy's Corner, and I'm your host, Randy Clark. And beautiful day in Sylacauga, Alabama today. But I got a special guest here with me today, and I don't want to waste no time because we got a lot to talk about. This is Miss Kay Jennings, and she is the Executive Director of TCR Child Care Corporation. Good morning, Kay.
Good morning, Randy.
How are you?
I'm great.
Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So we got a lot to talk about
We
this morning.
certainly
Let's just
do.
get right to it. So, the Head Start programs, and I know it's a little shaky right now, far as your funding goes, and that's what we're here to talk about this morning. And how will this affect your program if it's not included in the 2026 budget?
Well, it could be very, very negative. TCR serves 750 children in a 6-county region. We serve approximately 200 children in Talladega County and 57 children here in Sylacauga. And if we're not funded, then there's no guarantee that those services can continue.
Right.
We serve children age 6 weeks to age 5 at Drew Court, and there is no guarantee as of right now that we will be in the 2026 budget. So we're just trying to get out and tell people about the value of Head Start. And I'm so honored because I feel like you and I have talked enough and been on the show together, and you've always been so gracious to allow us to come on, that you understand
I do.
just how important this program is to this community.
Y'all serve a lot of children.
We do, and if you have an infant, toddler, or an early childhood, a child that's anywhere from the ages of 6 weeks to 4, it's hard to find. If you need care, it's hard to find care in this area.
It is. So, Kay, is Head Start an entitlement program?
No, everybody says that Head Start is an entitlement program. Head Start is not an entitlement program. We start serving children. It doesn't have a cost associated with it. So I think that's why people say it's an entitlement program, and you have to be income eligible or be in some of the other eligibility criteria. So if you had a child that had a disability, foster care, protective services, homelessness, and people think, well, what is homelessness? Homelessness can be that you're displaced because your house had a natural disaster, or had a fire or something like that, and you don't have a place to live right now, and you may be staying with friends or relatives, and your funds, because you've had this disaster happen, but you could qualify for Head Start until you could get your feet back on the ground. If you have a child that's got an IFSP or an IEP, IFSP is through early intervention. IEP is through your local education entity. They automatically qualify to get services at Head Start.
Okay.
Our Head Start here in Sylacauga, way more than half of our families are working, low-income working families.
Okay.
And the average cost of child care in this community, I think, is around $130 to $150 a week.
Okay.
You get in the Birmingham area. I visited a center yesterday in Huntsville. It was tuition was $300 a week.
Really? Big difference.
Big difference.
Okay.
So.
Could you name the counties that y'all service?
We're in, and I have to count them on my fingers, but we're in Talladega, we're in Clay, we're in Randolph, we're in Coosa, we're in Calhoun, and then we're in Cleburne.
Y'all service a big.
We have 750 children would be impacted by this. Over at Drew Court, another thing that people don't think about is employment.
Right.
At Drew Court, there's 20 full-time staff there.
Right. It's not just children, it's also employees too.
And within our agency, we have 220 Head Start employees.
Okay.
In those 6 counties.
Okay. Now, what children are serviced in the Head Start program?
a variety of children. As I was talking about, just the eligibility criteria, we have over 10% of our population of children we serve have a disability, and that's a diagnosed disability. You have to have a diagnosis to be included in that 10%. We serve, like I said, a lot of low-income families that are working. I want to remind everybody out there, all children, and to go back to the entitlement, this is not about the parents. This is about getting children prepared so that when they enter elementary school, kindergarten, that they enter with the same opportunities as children, other children, as all children. Right. We forget, I think you and I were talking about COVID a little bit earlier today, visiting, and during that time of COVID, when children were so isolated, I think we're starting to see the impacts, the social interaction. Children need to be they're social creatures, and they need to be in a social environment, and they need to learn to work together with their peers and be able to be in a group. Just that in itself, Randy, right, is huge. Yes. You can't learn your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s if you cannot function in a group setting when you get into kindergarten. Right. So just Head Start gives children the opportunity for that social and emotional development in a group setting. We tend to isolate now more. I don't think that we have quite gotten out of the routine of COVID, in meaning that our children are playing in larger groups when they're not at school.
Right, right. So, how does this impact our communities?
Well, it'd be 20 people without a job right here in Sylacauga. All those ladies, as far as I know, for mass majority of them live right here in the Sylacauga community.
Right, right. So it does affect our communities.
Our Head Start program here in that's located in Drew Court, our payroll is right at $600,000 a year. Mm-hmm. So we're paying, that's just to support that program. Right. That doesn't involve, we do, Head Start is a comprehensive program, so all children get vision screenings, dental screenings, hearing screenings. Right. They get cognitive and social screenings to make sure that they're developmentally where they need to be, speech screenings, you name it. I can't tell you the times that we've we've diagnosed or found that a child's vision was not good. Right. Their hearing, they had a hearing problem. Right. We have caught cavities. If you and I know what a cavity feels like. Right. But if you're 3 years old, think about it. If you're 3 years old and you've got this throbbing pain in your mouth, and you don't have the words or the language skills to say, man, my whole side of my cheek over here is hurting, like what you and I would say. I either got an earache or a toothache. They act that out. Right. And it's oftentimes in all parents' defenses, you sometimes just don't realize, wait a minute, he or she may have a toothache. I need to take them to the dentist to see what's going on. Right. We catch all of those things because Head Start understands that for a child to learn, they have to be healthy, they have to be secure, safe, and they have to be engaged. Right. And Head Start does all that. So I can't even explain how it would impact the community. Drew Court Head Start program has been in business here in Sylacauga for 30 or more years. Yeah. We've served thousands of children.
Kate, is it fair to say when you're parenting, you kind of get in a routine and you might not see some of these things, and some of these screenings that y'all do kind of brings it out that you might just kind of took as normalization? Is that right?
Amen. I have two stories I can share personally.
Okay.
My daughter, Anna, had a vision problem. We did not catch it until she was in the 3rd grade. If she'd have been in Head Start, if she'd had a vision screening early on, we would have caught that way before. It was 3rd grade.
Right.
My son, Ben, had chronic inner ear infections, and his speech, it affected his speech. And I started working for early intervention and didn't even know early intervention existed. I had a degree in elementary education and did not realize that there was a program in the state of Alabama called Early Intervention that provided free services, free screenings to help children get those delays sooner. Because the quicker you catch a delay,
Right.
if there's an issue, the sooner you can get to it and catch it, the better chances that child will have of there not ever being any negative impact. So with my son, we didn't catch that till after I started working for early intervention. He was about to turn 3, and he had a speech delay because he was hearing his ear infections were so chronic that he was learning how to talk like being underwater.
Right.
Because he had fluid in his ears all the time.
Right.
So he knew what he was saying, but we didn't have a clue.
Right.
And he would get very aggravated and frustrated, and it was just tough.
Okay.
But I didn't catch it.
Right. So, how will removing this program impact our communities? I don't really mean to ask that, but it's crucial that we talk about it.
We won't have it.
Right.
We won't have those services. Here in Sylacauga, one of the things we do have, and everybody seems to be completely in support for universal pre-K, and that's a great thing, but we have one of the first pre-K sites, state-funded pre-K sites. There were 8 of them in 2000, and they were formed under Governor, I'm sorry, I can't recall the name, but anyway, there were 8 sites in the state, and Drew Court here in Sylacauga was one of those 8 sites. We'll lose those pre-K programs. In the state of Alabama, if they take away funding, in the nation is 800,000 children.
That's a lot, Kay.
Yeah. In the state of Alabama, it's around 20,000 children that would lose services. And it's sad that a few years ago during COVID, we were talking about the crisis of childcare, that how important it was because so many programs had to stop services during COVID, and then that affected people's ability to go to work. There were childcare programs that were open that were specifically targeted to the healthcare community because we needed our hospital workers at work. And we got a lot of positive, even Head Start got a lot of positive attention during that time because we were open and we were providing services. And were able during that time, a lot of programs that were targeted for low-income children could also then pull in people that did, like a nurse or someone who was over income. We could serve those children during that time because it was such a vital service.
Right.
Child care, health care, all of those things that sometimes we take for granted. And now it seems that we've forgotten all of that, and we, in the state of Alabama, like I said, it's close to 20,000 children, that we're okay with saying, well, come October or come August, we're not going to fund this, and we wish you well. Yeah. So I would encourage everybody to, if you believe in the value of early education, Head Start's the backbone of that.
It is. It is.
I mean, we're because we're federally funded. I think that there's a lot of research behind that. You have, if you've ever been, take it from someone who knows. If you've ever been in an early Head Start classroom or a Head Start classroom, and you understand the quality, then it's hard to go to other locations and not hold up that standard or that measure.
I understand. Okay, we're about out of time. One last question. How can us as the viewers or citizens help the progress of keeping this program funded?
Talk to your federal, your state, all your representatives. In fact, today I am so proud I get to have a conversation with Congressman Mike Rogers' team. And Congressman Rogers has always been a supporter of our program.
Okay.
So I'm excited to get to talk to him, ask them some questions. Maybe they know something that we don't here on with the feet on there. But reach out to your congressman, reach out to your senators, our federal people, and say, this is a program that's too valuable. This is a program for children. This is a program for getting them ready to be successful in life.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming in, Kay.
Thank
This
you.
is Kay Jennings. She is Executive Director of the TCR Child Care Corporation. And thank you so much. You do a fabulous job, and we love all your children.
Well, we love you, Randy.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.